Hey everyone, this is Wife Capshaw / Emma just smiles a lot. Kind of butchered my name there, but that's fine. With another Let's Talk Media LLC audio podcast, and I'm very excited to say that for the first time ever, my beautiful, amazing, awesome wife and mother to our child, Maggie Capshaw, is actually here to join me on this audio podcast. So this will be her first, social media interaction thing with my business that she's ever done. I mean, besides pictures and things like that from me on occasion. And I'm actually very excited that you're here because you're actually wanting to do this. And
yeah.
So what we're going to be talking about today is our favorite TV shows. We have about 6 shows here we're going to talk about. Not sure if we're going to get to all of them, but there might even be shows that just might randomly pop up in our head, or certain funny parts of episodes, so Maggie, so how's it feel to finally be on here with me?
Well, I think I'm ready as I'll ever be, and I feel like since we both watch these shows together, I'll have something to say.
Of course, I completely understand. So, let's see. We're going to start off with, number one, one of our favorite shows that we currently is called Claim to Fame. And basically, if the audience out there, if you haven't seen the show, Claim to Fame, it's where...
Or can I explain?
Yes, go ahead.
So the hosts are Kevin and Frankie Jonas, and they have, I think they started with 12 contestants, and they're somehow related to someone famous, whether it's a parent, a sibling, an aunt, or an uncle. I don't think they've had any cousins. I'm not sure, though. And they do different challenges, per se, where they try to guess who the other contestant's relative is. And they have clues scattered throughout the house that they can check in on, and the second season's currently going on, so I don't know if we should talk too much about that, but I believe the first season was last summer, and that one was really good. And they had one sibling that was so obvious, everybody knew it right away.
Oh yeah, Simone Biles.
Yeah, her sister.
As soon as we saw her, I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of, who really surprised you in the first season? Like, when you saw them, you're like, oh my goodness, because I probably think it might be the same one.
Yeah, there's one contestant, when they figured out who his relative was, and it was a twin, and I was like, there's no way, because he did not look the age of his twin.
Who was that?
It was X, the guy that everybody thought was a pirate.
Oh, I thought, yeah, twin.
Yeah, they're twins.
It was, what's his name, his sister, his trans sister.
Yeah, oh my gosh, now that's gonna bother me what her name is.
No, take your time, that's fine.
Yeah. But I was like, I looked her up because I know her from a show called Inventing Anna, and I was like, there's no way. I mean, I could kind of maybe see that she was 51, but him, I could not.
No, he said it was like...
He probably looked in his 30s, yeah.
Remember, for the longest time, I was saying, maybe he's related to Prince or something.
Laverne Cox.
That's right.
Yeah.
And remember when I said Prince, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking it was Prince or someone who is, maybe an eccentric musical artist.
Yeah.
And when I say eccentric, I mean that in the respectful way,
Yeah.
Just really out there, but really cool. I mean, X was, we're a little out there, but he was a really... actually a cool guy, and that's why
he was very
nice.
Competitive.
He was competitive, but he wasn't normal, but he was normal. He wasn't too out there to where you didn't know, that he was a good guy.
Yeah. People were kind of scared of him.
Yeah. No, but even one of the girls said, always unapologetic. I can't even speak. Always be unapologetically yourself. And And it's like, you know what, good for her to say that, because, you know, in this world of how, you know, people can be, we just, even if we don't understand someone, just like let them be who they want to be.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that's just, I'm not trying to get all like, you know, Mr. Advice video over here when I say that, but you get what I mean. Like, you know, he seemed a little bit out there, but once this show went on, I was like, okay, he's actually a really decent person. Like, he's a cool guy. He's like, he's different, but I mean, who isn't different these days?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not always completely normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to think. The guy who's everybody thought was related to Trump, but it was it Dick
Logan?
Yeah, or he was.
But he was related to a musician.
No, not Hugo.
That's this season.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
I don't reveal that. No, I just thought that was so cool.
No, but they haven't figured out. No, they did figure it out. He was related. Well, I don't want to say because the season's currently going on.
Yeah, we don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah.
No.
But the first season.
Yeah, that was a good first season.
Logan that made it to the final two. Nobody had any clue for like basically the entire time.
And he was related to who again? It was Dolly Parton, right?
No, that's someone on this season.
Why do I keep doing that? I'm so sorry.
No,
my mind. Dang, I'm sorry.
I was about to say Blake Shelton, but I know that's not.
No, Jason Aldean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as soon as it said,
Dirt Road
Anthem.
Yeah.
And then it said, he kept on losing those dares or whatever.
So more and more clues.
When he said Jason Williams, I was like, okay.
And what he means by dare, it was one of the challenges they had to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It was like a challenge, but like it was a dare, like, or truth. And that one girl who was related to Kiki Palmer kept on thinking that she was kind of doing truth. That was gonna, help her win, but that actually ended up being her downfall. Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like,
guessed,
like,
which one I don't know why the first season, like every episode, someone would say it, and that was usually like the episode they ended up getting eliminated. But this current season, no one has said, "Oh, my aunt is so and so."
I know, like it'll be interesting when they say cousin or. But I think we've heard niece, haven't we?
Lark's aunt is
That's right. What's her name? Or his name?
Her aunt. She was on the Pepsi commercial.
Oh my goodness.
Cindy Crawford.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you. I'm bad with these names sometimes. But there's so many people that they go through.
Yeah.
Was it this first season or second season with Eddie Murphy?
That's right now.
I need to stop ruining it for people.
Yeah.
My mind is so currently
we're caught up. We watched the first season all the way through on Hulu, and now we started the second season, but now a new episode is on Monday on ABC.
I'm just trying to think of. There's so many celebrities. I'm just trying to think of first season. Do you remember all the people from first, or who are the people that you remember the most from first season?
I know there was an activist, but I couldn't say, I don't recall his name because I wasn't familiar with him. And I want to look up them, but I don't want to accidentally get a spoiler for season 2,
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, was it that one guy who was related to Zendaya, remember? That's season 1, right? Yeah. He was her,
sister, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. What was his name?
Let's see. Oh, there was a daughter of a football player.
Oh, yeah,
cousin of Zendaya, so they have had cousins.
Cousins, that's right, that's what the...
Oh my gosh, the very first episode, how could we forget about this?
Brad Favre, that's right.
One of the contestants, one was guessing to get him home, But then they said, like, stop. He had actually, the one that was going to be guest on, because, like, at the end of the episode, you have a guesser, and they vote on a guesser. And if the guesser guesses wrong, they go home. But if they guess correct, that person goes home. So the person that was being guessed on actually cheated and had a phone. So he went home, and everybody thought he was related to Steven Spielberg, which I could, like, kind of see, but didn't think that was the case. And he ended up being related to
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, which I had no clue.
Didn't even look nothing.
Yeah, I had no clue.
It wasn't his son, was it?
Chuck Norris is his grandpa.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, and Pepper, that made it really far. Dean Martin was her grandpa.
Yeah, that was really cool. I forgot to tell Phil about that. Yeah, so basically, guys, what you get, or what you can understand from it is that this is a really cool show. If you really want to watch it, you should. Some of these people do look like their celebrity relative. Like, it's kind of obvious, but some people don't. Oh, actually, they had that one girl who I could have sworn was Lonnie Love's daughter, because she looked and sounded just like her, but she was actually related to... who was that?
Tiffany Haddish?
I think it was.
No, I think you kept getting her mixed up with LLC, Keke Palmer's sister.
No. There was that one girl. They called her the something father, like the Godfather. Remember? Yeah, I remember.
No, she was related to...
Yeah.
Al Sharpton, which I think is Dominique, who that's the...
Al Sharpton?
Yeah. Sharpton, yeah.
Sharpton.
That's the activist, I believe. Yeah. Civil rights activist, yeah.
And I could have... But, I mean, she looked like Lonnie, the comedian Lonnie Love. Like, if you literally put them two in the room together, you'd be like, she looks like a younger... You'd be asking him if that was her daughter, if he didn't know any better.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much I'm just saying, the whole time I'm like, she looks like a much younger version of Lonnie Love.
Yeah.
And remember, I showed you a picture of Lonnie Love, and you're like, yeah, she does look like her. I'm like, I see. It was weird, but, yeah.
Jack finally fell asleep.
Yeah, hey, sorry about that, guys. So, our little guy's been having
stuffy nose,
little poor buddy. He had issues falling asleep. And as you know, in my previous podcast, I've talked about, what's important for a father to be in, some other kid's life, but obviously the mother as well. And it's nice to know that we both have access to see him on his little bed app on the bed cameras to know that he's safe. As if any other parents out there, you know how important it is to do that from time to time, obviously, just to show love and support to your child. Anyway, so let's move on to the next show. Unless you want to keep going.
Well, I'm very excited to see how season 2 continues.
Oh, yeah.
And every time someone comes up with an idea, I'm like, oh yeah, that has to be it. Yeah. And then another person goes, oh no, I thought this. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, one little thing is that, so they have a clue wall, and then they also have a thing where, I don't remember how they get picked, but the people in the show, they'll get picked to go into an area where there's a room where they have wine bottles. And
for a secret clue that only they can see, but sometimes they share it.
Right. So yeah, there's, like I said, it's a lot of game of like, who can you trust, who can you not trust, who are you gonna team up with, who you're gonna lie behind whose back. It's very manipulative, but it's very like, ooh, it's a good show.
Yeah.
So the next show, excuse me, it's called Crime Scene Kitchen.
I keep wanting to call it Kitchen Nightmares. But that's another show we watch.
Oh yeah, we love Gordon Ramsay.
We'll talk about that too.
Crime Scene Kitchen is very good. So it has Ryan McHale.
Joel McHale.
Why did I say that? Joel McHale.
As the host.
The funny guy host. And
then the judges are...
The Australian...
see, just so I make sure. I can picture them because he has spiky hair.
Right.
Yolanda Gamp and then Curtis Stone.
That's right. Curtis Stone.
I watched season 1 on Hulu by myself, and I really liked it. I mean, I don't really bake, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way I would make it on this show. So they go to a setup of a kitchen, and they have to figure out clues on what dessert they need to make. And sometimes there's like decoy ingredients to throw them off.
It's a really good show. It's really funny. It's amazing what these people can make, especially the self-taught people. The fact that that's smart, it's like,
this season they started out like every other episode, one would be self-taught and one would be
classical,
trained bakers. And then once they got lower and lower as they got eliminated, they brought them all together. And I think this week's the last episode, I believe.
Right. Yeah. It was crazy is just the ideas that they
they come up with. And I don't think anyone's ever really been like extremely off.
Not really. No, I mean, even if they were like a little bit off, they still got some part of it like still semi right. And that's what I'm impressed with the most. It's like, you know, not only were they smart enough to figure that out, but it's like you guys are just like amazing what you do in general.
Yeah.
Like, and like, let me put this way, I was in the food industry for a while, you know, but like I only made it to salad line chef, you know, or head salad line chef. But the things that like, you know, I know how to make a killer salad, as you know. I'm okay with some pastas. You know, I'm good with cooking meat, but I'm no expertise. But like, if I had an expertise, I think it would be salads, if I'm being honest. But what I'm saying is that, like, you know, you've really, and I know I say this all the time, but you've really got to give respect to people who work in kitchens or any type of food industry. It's not easy. Like, when we went to breakfast today, like, it was so good because of how hard they put their work into it. Into what they do at Silver Pancake House. That's why it tastes so fresh, and that's why I love going there. It's so good. So what I'm saying is that, like, and to anyone else out there, I want to show respect to your servers, waiters, chefs, hostess, please. You know, I guess I'm going to say it again. We've seen it. I've seen it. You know, people being rude and mean, and especially in the restaurant. Like, remember that one time? Speaking of which, real quick, when we were at where was it? First Watch. Remember that guy was sitting there and he had like that real bad attitude and he was like real rude to the waiter or whatever.
Yeah.
And we were just like, wow, like things that, like, I'm not trying to be mean or like not trying to say like this guy was he was being a jerk. I mean, I was just more like, I wonder what's making him mad. You know, I wouldn't say I felt bad or sorry for him, but I was just more of like trying to understand like why he was acting that way. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't make him look good either way.
No.
But like that's what I'm getting at is that, like, even if you're in a bad mood, like, why are you doing that to someone who's just trying to serve you food? Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we kind of got off kilter there, but basically, crime scene kitchen is what my wife said is great job on getting into detail about that. Yeah, so they go into a kitchen area. There's different clues with like maybe something's left out, or maybe there might be a top that might be off of something, or like slightly off of something.
And they even like,
you know,
there could be a clue in the trash can of like something that like got thrown away. Like you need to look everywhere, but you only have 2 minutes to look.
But then they get 2 hours too. Well, no, sometimes.
Well, they have 2 baking challenges. Yeah, the first one is 2 hours, and then the second one they have 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a good show. But let's see. Well, besides kitchen numbers, actually, I just wanted to say, the other show we watch is A Cake too. I know it's not.
That was on Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's on this list, but I just wanted to say, the fact that those people can make those things look that realistic.
Oh, I know.
Realistic.
Yeah.
You're like that is. Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's great. Well, those really wacky Japanese shows or whatever. Mm-hmm. They have one called, I think it's called like Is It Chocolate Too, or like Is It Chocolate or whatever.
I feel like I've seen that on Netflix.
Yeah, and then and they bite into different things or whatever. It looks so realistic, you're not sure what it is, and like some of them are chocolate. Like there's just one where this guy had a dress shoe, and it looked like a real like brown, like nice dress shoe, you wear, and he bites right into it, and it's like all chocolate. And you're like, how? But it's what I'm saying is that what they did on the show is impressive. Like the first time I really seen anything like that was from like YouTube and people, because there was. What started was there's a meme of this Japanese guy, and he bites a door handle, and he bites it off, and he does he goes he gives you like oh, look at this, like with his eyebrows. Is really funny. That kind of turned into a meme. So he's like and it was like kind of like, oh, look at this, like you'd have to see to understand why it's funny.
That would make me nervous to bite into a potential doorknob.
Well, he did it real slow. He was like,
like get a little like knife to like see if you can.
Yeah, and then someone else did whatchamacallit, a plant. It ended up being like a real plant that spitting it out, or was it chocolate? Can't remember anyway. No, but like kind of not running out of things here to say, but so basically, like on the show, it's a cake too. How do they set the one up again? They
have one reel, and then the rest are decoys. Sometimes they have a ton of decoys, and sometimes it's only like 2 or 3 decoys.
Right, and then so what they do is that they pick.
They'll have celebrity judges. Usually, they're from a Netflix show.
Yeah, and they'll pick different items, and whatever they pick, they have to make a real one out of cake. Yeah. And then they have to,
One contestant was so good. She made a tool bag or tool belt.
Yeah. Talking about the redhead that won it all. Mm-hmm. What was her name?
I don't remember, but she was really good.
She's really good at that stitching stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like she made
detail.
Yeah, she made a baseball glove. Look, it looked so real. I was like, that. I couldn't tell that was a baseball glove or, cake or not. I was like, wait a minute, and it's so funny how and if you notice that a lot of the things that she chose, or half the challenges, luckily had like more like stitching on it. That seemed to be like her specialty.
Yeah. So she said it was very time consuming, and I can tell.
Yeah, but she was so good at it,
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a great show too, guys. If you ever want to see a show where you're like, I can't tell if that's cake or not, it's called It's a Cake too. It's on Netflix. So Kitchen Nightmares. So
I'm so excited that starts back up.
I know.
End of September. Mm-hmm. We watch
every season.
I feel like there's 5 or 6 on Hulu that we watched all the episodes of. And I believe the last time they filmed that, at least that was on Hulu, was 2012. So it's been a long time. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that to come back.
Right. Also, Gordon Ramsay, if you're listening in, which you have no idea who I am by any means, but please start to redo Hotel Hell. I know you're in probably like 12 different TV shows right now. We're trying to watch half of them and start to keep up. You're a very busy man. But that is absolutely one of my favorite shows you've ever done, sir.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm. Such a good show. But as you guys know, if you've ever seen Kitchen Nightmares, you know exactly how it goes. Like, even just from the trailer of what we've seen, like, I'm really excited. It's like, oh, this looks good.
I'm curious if he's going to restaurants that really struggled because of the pandemic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was actually not a bad thought. Unless years later, it's like, over there's still people, who...
Yeah. I mean, like, there's restaurants still open, but, like...
Parts
they might be, like, really struggling to, like, actually, like, come back.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they have to like keep a part closed off, maybe because that's like an area where a lot of people got sick.
Yeah.
Or they're, I don't know. Something.
Or they probably don't have the staffing. Yeah, because that's what Canetto's has been doing lately.
Yeah. I don't want to use them as an example because I love them.
Oh no, they're very clean. I'm talking about the staffing.
Yeah, no.
Canetto's is awesome.
Oh my god, I love that place. Love you, Frank. Anyway,
but I mean, there's not really much to say on that right now because the new season hasn't started.
Yeah, but like,
there's some gross ones.
Oh, the stuff he dealt with. I'm like, I don't know how he does it. Thank God for Gordon. Here's the thing. He might be like a really harsh guy, but I mean, those people had to wake up.
Oh yeah.
How do you
when he
just
can tell you're actually trying? He's like, a nice guy. Yeah.
But how do you just neglect all? Like, I don't get it. I really don't. Do you know how often I had to check the expiration dates, flip produce around, make sure the eggs were? I mean, oh my goodness, it was insane. Like, I had to do a lot. Let me put it this way: even though I worked at Mike Shannon's until it shut down, which was only like a few months, I got the full kitchen experience. I'm talking like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a little guy. I know, it's okay. No. Like I said, everyone out there, we love our little guy. We can't help ourselves.
Well, and also we're way down in the basement, so. Yeah,
we're just trying not to wake him up. So, besides Kitchen Nightmares, so Nathan Fillion, I love him to death. But the reason I mentioned him is because, like I said, he played a short as Nathan Drake from one of my favorite video games of all time, Uncharted. I feel like if since they're having Tom Holland play the younger Nathan Drake, it'd be awesome to see maybe later on they somehow talked Nathan Fillion into doing like a full-on movie as like the older Nathan Drake. That'd be so cool because he did such an amazing job in the short. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is that Maggie and I, we love the show The Rookie and Rookie Feds. And Rookie Feds stars
Niecy Nash, yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say Niecy.
Yeah.
No, Niecy Nash, who I know she's been in a lot of other shows and things like that. But I remember originally her from Reno 911, which is a hilarious show.
And side note, she's the host of this show.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget the lyrics that I really like.
That's a great show too. She did a great job as what's her name in the Dahmer show.
I don't remember her character's name, but yeah, they were neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. She did a great job in that. Anyway, The Rookie's a great show. Nathan.
There are a lot of seasons in for Rookie. He's not a rookie anymore, but it's a very good cop show. Like some cop shows are too like scary for me.
Or intense.
Yeah, intense is a better word, yeah.
Yeah.
But this has a very good balance between the cops' like work lives and their personal lives. Like I feel like it blends really well together.
And I think that it blends well with comedy and seriousness.
Yeah.
Like when there's like when there's moments where it's like where it really it's like, oh my goodness, but it's so good, like especially when they do like the hidden body cam, but like the body cam parts where they're like, you know, coming up and you're like, oh man, you feel like you're watching one of those real police videos.
Yeah.
Like there's so many shocking parts too, and you're like, oh, I'm trying to get specific without giving too much away because I feel like it's one of those shows that like a lot of people.
There's no way we could really do a summary of it.
No, it's so much that goes on, but so good. But I feel like it's one of those shows that, like a lot of people watch, but also a lot of people miss. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they're just those shows where like you see commercials for it all the time or trailers and like, I bet no one watches this.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it ends up being a show that we watch and we're like, oh, we love this show. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not saying obviously we love The Rookie, but there's something about that show and just some other shows that just
kind of get forgotten about.
You don't know why.
That's kind of like leads me into another show I wanted to talk about, Alaska Daily.
Yeah.
And then even Big Sky that we watched together.
Oh,
I felt like it never really got the publicity. Because I did see online that they're not renewed.
Yeah, and I really loved it when they brought Jensen Ackles in it from Supernatural. I love him in that show.
On Big Sky.
On Big Sky, yeah. He played, what's his name, Duke? No.
I don't remember you. Was he the brother in the last season?
He was the one that ended up being not the sheriff, but he ended up working with what's the blondie's name in the show?
Cassie.
The bearded guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he came in from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason I really liked Big Sky and Alaska Daily, one, it definitely kept you guessing on what was going to happen, but also it wasn't the typical New York or LA
vibe show.
Yeah. It was different because Big Sky's in Montana, and then Daily Alaska is obviously in Alaska.
Yeah. Actually, no. Speaking of which, going back to the Rookie and the Rookie Feds.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I know they're both based in LA. But something about it, even though it's based in LA, I think the way that they have the show directed, it kind of feels like its own show. It's like its own state show. It doesn't need LA to be a popular show.
Yeah.
Or to be to say, oh, we're here protecting this area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's when show is good, to where you're yeah, I know they're based here, but you feel like it could be a totally made up show with their own totally made up city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It could be anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Rookie of Feds, obviously Niecy Nash is a federal agent. They do crazy, cool missions as well. And they actually cross over, obviously, with...
they'll do that every now and again.
And those episodes are really good, too.
Yeah. So how she started out, because she's was a high school guidance counselor for a long time, and then decided to become an FBI agent.
And it's funny because
later in life.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, it's funny because she kind of seemed to do it midlife, not midlife crisis, but so did Nathan's character. And it's funny how in the show they made fun of Nathan for that. They're like, "You're having a midlife crisis."
Yeah.
Or I remember even the captain talking to him. He was like, "You're a 54-year-old man. You're coming to work for." He was like, "Are you okay?" Or he didn't remember giving that real
Are you sure you're doing this?
Yeah, you sure about this? That real serious speech. I thought that was really funny. It's hard to explain these shows because, like I said, there's so much that goes into them. I'm trying to remember all the names. I literally feel like I have to watch one episode.
It's been
so long.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I know Rookie and Rookie Feds are renewed, but when, I don't know.
So let's move on to number 4, and
it's been a kind of a combination.
Yeah. Now, and we're going to talk about our other favorite show, and I could talk about this forever, honestly. So, Evil Lives Here. So, there's a lot of scary, murder mystery shows and psycho shows and things like that. We watched a few, the one where Zac Efron plays Ted Bundy, and where what's his name plays Jeffrey Dahmer. What's his name? Oh my goodness. Will you look that up?
Yeah.
Those are really good shows, but then we also watched some documentaries on them. You and I watched the one. Did we watch the documentary show on Dahmer, or was it on Bundy?
We watched both. The Bundy one was on
Netflix.
They both were,
Right.
but the Ted Bundy one was on a few years ago. I think the Dahmer one was pretty recent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Netflix because
Yeah.
I don't want to actually see anything.
Didn't we also watch
Evan Peters?
Thank you. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
I remember he first started off on Phil of the Future, or at least that's where I first saw him, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And now he's this.
and Molly Ringwald was his stepmom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And his dad in the show was the dad in the movie Step Brothers with with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. His dad's a fun, like the guy who played his dad, like in the movie it was a movie, right? Pretty much movie, TV show, if you want to call it that. He would play like a serious role, but the guy who plays dad is actually like really funny.
Yeah.
Like if you watch his dad like character and his stepbrothers, it's really funny, especially when he completely loses his mind because he can't put up with them being adults and acting like children anymore. Mm-hmm. So when he loses, it's comedic. Anyway, no, but Evil Lives Here. And man, let me put it this way. That show makes you feel really sorry for those people.
Oh, yeah. We've watched every episode.
Many episodes. There's
a current season right now.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, back to what I was getting at is the reason that it's a good show that we both like is because it's mild. It's not too violent. It's not too
like they don't show violence,
but they imply it in the And what I like about it is that they actually have people who are actors and they like actually act out some of the scenes, and sometimes the actors kind of do look exactly like.
Oh yeah, and some you're like, I feel like you could have done a little better.
Yeah. I mean,
or sometimes it's cheesy, like the acting a little bit, but they're not really like talking.
Yeah. They can only do what they can do.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
There was one season where, and it was soon after Jack was born, that like every episode seemed to be about a child being abused, which I was like, oh
no. I remember that one.
I mean, obviously I don't want anybody to be, but that season seemed like when I was little.
The last one that we saw when the mom was shooting her daughters.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how those girls survived.
Or how they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Oh, man, I'm just getting chills in my mouth. Remember I looked at you and I was like, I want to go wake him up and hold him right now. This is not okay. Like, it made me feel some type of way. I was like, that was bad. How do you just...
That's on ID.
Yeah. Like, how do you justify that? Oh, I'm going to just... Because I can't control my anger. Like, I have to be right. Like, what's wrong with you? Seriously.
Yeah.
And what makes it even scarier is that it's someone in there that they love. Someone in their own family.
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, that's why it's called Evil Lives Here. Like, they don't know. Because it even always starts out with, like, a sentence about the person, and then it ends with, like, but there were signs.
Yeah. Like, everything seemed normal, but then there was... It's like, oh, no. And, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and you're just like... Like, like, some of them are just so shocking. Like, besides the mom shooting her daughters, what's a really, like, shocking...
The one that comes to mind was the guy that, like, was doing the episode. He and his brother were, like, basically, like, locked in a closet, like, basically their whole childhood. I think they somehow escaped. But I think he was, like, 8. So, like, being in a closet, like, I remember him saying he had major vision issues because he was never really around light.
Yeah, and I remember they both said they had to eat their own feces. And like the way that they were fed, it was like not right. Like they just throw food at them, and like, come on, like talk about having that like really messed up mentality of what do they say? Children are meant to be seen, not heard, but they weren't even seen. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
that's.
And I always wonder, like when they're kids, like what about like school? You know?
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, that boy, I believe he went to school for a little bit, but then he got pulled out. I don't know what the mom said the reason was.
Isn't it illegal to not send your kids to school? Not illegal, but like...
I mean, you can homeschool, but I feel like you have to, like, have, like, documentation that you're, like, teaching your kids
even if you don't have
a curriculum.
Even if you don't have a... degree in teaching, or anything like that. But you know, anyway. Do we get off track again?
We're still talking about Evil Lives Here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah. No.
I was just saying, like, I don't get how, like, a school wouldn't, like, wonder why all of a sudden they're not coming.
Yeah. Why did she? That's going to bother me. I don't remember it.
And there was a stepmom, like, I think, or there was another woman living with them. I know.
She didn't fight back, did she, the other woman?
I think his mom didn't fight it. The stepmom, per se, was the one that was the main one, like, instigating.
That's right, yeah. Oh, man, such a good show. I'm trying to think of another episode that was not even being like, oh my goodness.
There was one, I don't really remember it much, but the title was called, like, Prom Night, and I was like, oh, like, did someone go to their prom? But that was, like, I think the brother was at prom when his brother ended up shooting his family.
That's right. That was a good one. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That was insane. I'm trying to think of this one. There's the one with that guy ended up where he was had this obsession of like hurting his family or whatever, and remember he got the like toy BB gun and he's shooting his kids and whatever. And he's had this evil look on his face. I can't remember what he did.
I feel like there were multiple episodes like that, but yeah.
I remember the one where the mom was hitting the kids and she was like saying like, see, this is your fault. This is why I'm doing this. Or she was like,
she had like 2 or 3 of the little kids in a freezer.
Yeah, I remember that. Or remember, she was the one that was like, did you do sexual SA too? Yeah, that
and
one.
They would say no, and she's like, are you sure? Like pressuring them to say, oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, like
to make her stop, but then she ended up,
killing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was not okay in the head. She was almost as bad as the Asian mom who shot her daughters. I can't get over that. Like, there's a lot of really good episodes. Like, I'm trying to think of one where I remember there's one, like, I wasn't shocked, but, like, there was this episode where this, like, guy and this girl, like, he came at her with a knife or something, and then, like, he, instead of the knife, he, like, put it down, or, like, she knocked down, and he just, like, starts beating the ever-living crud out of her, and, like, there's just, like, a reenactment, and the reenactment, I'm just, like, I was like, oh, this is, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, they really turned it up for that reenactment. That was very, like,
yeah.
I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I know it was just acting, but still. But it's Evil Lives Here. It's a good show, but like thank God none of my family's like that.
Yeah.
But it really makes you like, not to say like you should have to, but it really makes you wonder if like next time you have a family function you're all together, should you be looking around at your family's faces and seeing that they got some like weird twitch in their eye or something, you know what I mean? Like, are they okay over there? Like, I don't know. I'm being silly, but at the same time, like. But no, everyone Evil Lives Here is a great show. So we talked about Week Sky already. Talked about Alaska Daily.
Yeah.
So let's end things off with talking about.
These are shows that I always just have on in the background. Friends, HGTV or Game Show Network. Those are just like background noise a lot of times. But I've seen every episode of Friends, and I'm pretty sure you have too.
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone, funny thing about my wife here, if she compares me to everybody on the show, to all the guys, and I'm like, what do you mean? And she has told me, she's like, well, you have your nerdy, clingy side of you, and like, some things have to be perfect, and when they're not, you freak out. And I'm like, okay, so Ross, all right. And she says, you have your silly, dry, quippy humor that people actually find funny, and you're pretty good at doing it in certain in those funny situations. I said, okay, Chandler. And then she said, and you do this media stuff, and thank you for saying I'm handsome. I appreciate it.
Yes.
She's like, well, you got that handsome, thing about you, and you spike your hair up. I'm like, okay, so like Joey, because Joey's is an actor. But we all know, and anyone who knows me personally, it's funny, I look more like Joey, but my personality is way more like Chandler's.
Yeah, I can be.
It's the weirdest thing. Like I'm trying to think of that joke I made today with Debbie Dindler when she said something and it said something real quippy and you all thought it was really funny. I can't remember what I said, but I thought it was hilarious. No, but Friends is like, I don't know. It's funny how weirdly it's one of those shows where you can watch every episode, you know what happens next. But
but it's still good.
They geniusly made that show to where it doesn't feel like it's ever going to get old.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why they're all just rolling in money. Notice how the only person who's still really acting right now is Jennifer Aniston, and that's it. Mm-hmm. The other guys are like, I don't need to act anymore. Like, seriously. And like, good for them, though. I mean, shoot, I
don't think she needs to act by any means.
No.
I think it's just she wants to.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is awesome. And I've always said this, and I know I've said this to you in the past. I feel like those actors and actresses who do both movies and TV shows, that's smart. Yeah. Because whenever they don't get any roles in movies, if somebody really likes them in a role in a TV show, they're going to be there season after season, so their money's just coming in nonstop.
I've heard actors say, like, they always feel the need to say yes at the beginning because they never know when their next role could be. Right,
or if they're the only one that has a perfect look.
Yeah.
Or the perfect it factor, the perfect voice, or that, you know what I'm saying? That's why, even though I'm not famous by any means, I'm hoping that maybe one day, besides getting a bunch of clients for whether it's martial arts or marketing, who knows, maybe one day there might be some producer in LA or Hollywood or something, let's just say, runs across one of my videos and they're like, hey, that guy right there, I like his stuff, I like what he has to say, I like his look, I like his positivity, I like his message, I'm going to call him up and see if he wants to, and, every now and then I think maybe it would be good for me to maybe find an audition somewhere in here in St. Louis for something. Now, I know there's this website called Backstage, and they came and said, you can make this if you get the rule for this and that, but I wonder how legit Backstage really is. I don't know, maybe I could ask around and see if anyone knows if there's any auditions for any commercials for anything or in St. Louis, maybe make some extra cash, get my face out there more than me trying to, do this, although I love doing this, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we're getting off topic. Yeah. But no, Friends is a really great show. I would think there's so many funny episodes. What's my favorite one?
I like the one, the episodes are always called the one where...
Oh yeah, I love that part.
But I like the one where no one's ready. And I like the one where they're in Vegas.
That's
to
funny.
See Joey.
Yeah. What did he say when there's... He's like, no, I'm here, I'm on set. Or, hey guys, I'm taking 5 or whatever.
Yeah, who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to? Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I loved, what happened to one where no one's ready? What was that one about again? The one where
you watched Friends last night. I went to bed.
The one where no one's ready? What's the one about?
Oh, that's when, Ross has a paleontology, awards dinner, and everybody's taking forever to get ready, and Joey and Chandler are, like, fighting.
And then at some point, what's her name? Don't tell me. Oh my goodness, I'm getting
Phoebe's
tired.
character?
No, I'm getting tired. Rachel. Yeah, she gets so upset she ends up just putting her like sweats.
PJs on.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you doing? That was great. So,
well, and then she's like, does this look like something a paleontologist's girlfriend would wear? And Phoebe says, I think he might be the first one.
Yeah, that was funny. And then Joey comes back with all Chandler's clothes on.
Yeah.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Yeah.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I love, man. I really like. There's a lot of good ones. I like when Phoebe gets married in the snow. That was romantic.
Oh yeah.
Ross has so many marriages. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the one there's a lot of parts that get me choked up in the show. But the one part that always gets me choked up every time is when Chandler and Monica, you know what I'm saying?
Get married or get engaged?
Get engaged. When he proposed, like, whenever they close the door and lose all the candles and all.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's like, there's a lot of good moments in that show, but that moment right there, I'm like, that gets me, like, every time.
Well, like, speaking of Chandler and Monica, when they're trying to keep their relationship a secret and Joey, yeah. Joey figures it out, then he has to keep it a secret, then Rachel does, and then Phoebe does, and then they're all like, they don't know that we know, and then they don't know that we know that they know we know.
And then they keep on blaming Joey for all their antics.
Yeah. Their slip-ups on trying to keep it a secret, yeah.
So funny. What are we guys saying? Joey, I'm disgusting.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, man. It's such a funny show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've been talking for about 50 minutes.
Oh, wow.
This is awesome. No, I'm actually so happy and excited and proud that you did this. Like, you did great, by the way.
Thank you.
For your first time ever doing anything social media-wise, like, you have Facebook, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it.
Social media, you were way more comfortable than I thought. You talked a lot more. I loved it. No, hey, you did great.
No, I know, and I'm just saying it's because I watch all these shows, so I have thoughts on them.
Yeah, thank you very much. Seriously.
You're welcome.
I love you so much. Anyway, just want to say again, thank you for doing this. You're amazing. You're sweet. You're beautiful. You're awesome. I love you. You're an amazing wife, an amazing mother. Anyway, everybody, this has been Wife Capshaw / Mr. Smiles a Lot and Maggie Capshaw. And this is a Let's Talk Media LLC audio podcast where we talked about our favorite different TV shows and other various topics. Thank you all so much for those who've listened in and tuned in. If you need a marketer or advertiser or a martial arts coach, if you live in the St. Louis area, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, thank you all so much for those who tuned in. This has been, again, Wife Capshaw / Mr. Smiles a Lot. I love you all, and I will definitely see you guys next time.